Hello, thank you for joining me today. I'm Tanya Rainier, money mindset maven and business coach for women entrepreneurs, founder of the Profit Party, and author of The Mindset Switch. And today, because mindset and money together are totally my jam and what I love talking about, I want to give you the tools and the resources and everything that you need to lay the foundation for a rock star money mindset. This is the one thing that I knew nothing about when I started my first business. And lordy, lordy, did I really have trouble getting it off the ground and making the money that, well, that I deserved or should have been making. I almost lost my first business. And when I tapped into the power of money mindset, it saved my business and totally saved me. It changed my life. So that's what I want to share with you today. And rather than just talk your ear off, I have a little bit of a presentation for you. So grab a sheet of paper and a pen because I would love to invite you to take notes. This is going to be an interactive workshop that is going to serve you in the highest possible way because it is going to help you identify where some of your blocks are right now in this moment when it comes to your mindset and your money in your business. Like, why aren't you making money? Why aren't you valuing yourself? Why aren't you charging your worth? And what can we do about it? So grab a pen and a paper, get ready to take some notes, eliminate all distractions, and I will see you in the presentation. Okay, how to master your money mindset as an entrepreneur. And why do I specifically call out entrepreneur? Well, because when it comes to being an entrepreneur, you get to ultimately choose how you operate your business. You get to choose who you work with, what you charge. You get to choose what your value is. What are you worth? All those things are on your plate, right? No pressure, but you get to choose those things. So your mindset about all of the things that I just mentioned ultimately is going to determine how much revenue you're bringing in to your business. It's way different than somebody who, if we're having a money mindset conversation with somebody who had a 9-to-5 job, right? Or didn't work at all and maybe was a stay-at-home mom. Totally different conversations. As an entrepreneur, in order to master your money mindset, you have to get on board with your value and who it is that you feel you want to work with and own that, right? So that's what we're going to talk about today. So first, let's figure out where you're at. And remember what I said, write things down if they come up for you. Please take notes. So you got into this business because you wanted to make a full-time living doing what you love, right? There's a certain number, there's a magic number that you have in your head that you want to make. And that magic number is going to allow you to travel, pay off potential debt, right? Any debt that's lingering still. Have freedom money. This is my favorite because that means you get to do what you want when you want without worrying about price tags. How much is it going to cost? Can I really afford this? Without having to feel guilty or have like buyer's remorse after you've spent money, right? You want to make a difference and give back to the world. You want to be an influencer, change lives, make a difference. And you never ever have to worry about money stress again. Like, we all don't want to have to worry about that, right? That's a big motivator for wanting to be an entrepreneur and do this in the first place. But what's really happening? Because that's not where you're at, right? And if you are, good for you. High five right now. But if you're not there, there's a reason. And these could be some of the reasons. So you're either giving your services away for free, you're discounting your services, or you're severely undercharging for your services. Let's dig in, shall we? Why are you doing this to yourself? It's because you don't believe in your value. You've got blocks around what it is that you're worth and what it is that's possible for you in this moment right now. Why do you have those blocks? Why don't you believe in your value? Well, a couple of reasons. We're going to go through them. It could be because you are comparing yourself to other people in your industry or niche. Are you looking at people that have been doing this for a little while longer? Are you seeing the persona or the facade that they present to the world? Are you looking at their Instagram profile going, oh, they're so much more put together than me. They must be so much more successful. They must have all figured out, and they must know exactly what they're doing every day with a clear plan. They must never doubt themselves. They must never question whether or not they're making the right decision. They must never get scared. They must always be confident. Do we think that about other people? No, come on. We know we kind of do, even though we know it's not true. We still think those things. We compare ourselves to what the rest of the world is doing. We think to ourselves, I'm not as skilled, smart, talented, experienced as that person. Or we compare ourselves to where we feel we should be on a timeline. When we got into this business, or even now, you might still be doing this, where you set these benchmarks or milestones. You say to yourself, well, by the end of year one, I should be making $5,000 a month, right? Or I should be making X, or I should have X amount of publicity or whatever. And if that doesn't happen and you don't hit that benchmark or milestone, you beat yourself up and you tell yourself, I must not be as good as I thought I was. This isn't working the way that I thought. This isn't going according to plan. I thought I would be so much further ahead by now. And it starts to become defeating and frustrated and overwhelming and confusing. And then what? You know what happens. You know, you go out and you start looking for the answers, right? What do the gurus say? What do they tell me I should be doing? How can I get there faster? And you're creating huge, huge blocks for yourself by doing this. Another reason why you might be stuck in this cycle of not really valuing what it is that you do, your gifts, your genius, and your worth. You're doubting these things. Why? You're looking at this going, I'm just not enough. I'm not as skilled as I should be. I'm not as smart as I should be. And this might, again, stem from comparison, but this often doesn't. It has nothing to do with comparison. It has everything to do with you comparing yourself to your own perceived and imaginary expectations. You have created a bar for yourself. You've created a standard that you're not living up to. It's because you've set the standard so unrealistic and crazy that you're not giving yourself a chance to feel empowered and amazing. You're torturing yourself maybe even without realizing that you're doing it, right? You're telling yourself you're not talented enough. You're not experienced enough. You're creating stories around what it takes to be enough. What stories are you creating? In what ways are you doing this to yourself? Write that down. Who do I think I am trying to charge to do this? Maybe it's not even about charging. Maybe you're like, who do I think I am trying to be the expert in my industry? I'm such a fraud. I'm faking it. I'm totally faking it till I make it. And I don't deserve this. People are going to see right through me. They're going to realize that I don't know what the heck I'm doing. And they're going to think I'm a sham, right? Do you often over deliver? You're doubting what your services are worth to the point that a client might not even ask for extra, but you are so bent on trying to impress them, or you feel bad because they've agreed to pay you and you're like, oh, I'm not even on board with that price yet. So I'm going to continue to over deliver to make sure that they're happy, to make sure that they love me and they have a really good experience. And a little bit of that is okay. But there's a point where that becomes chronic and it really is detrimental to your own mindset. Because if you don't think you're worthy of what you're charging, that's a problem, right? You're doubting yourself once again. In what ways are you doing that? Are you feeling guilty over charging people for what it is that you do? Are you out here in this beautiful world of entrepreneurship and although it feels good on the one hand, the other hand, you are plagued with guilt and icky, gross feelings. Do you have a hard time telling people no? Do clients ask you for things over and above? Do they ask you for things that are outside of the scope? And even though they might not be within your zone of genius, or it might be something that you don't have any desire to do at all, do you find yourself saying yes anyway? Do you get really weirded out having sales conversations? Does it feel gross taking money from people? Does it get to the point where you just, all you want to do is help people? And that's the most important priority for you, to where like, hey, as long as I'm helping people and I'm making a difference, yeah, I might be doing it for free. Yeah, I might not be really valuing myself and what it is that I bring to the table, but I feel connected and loved as a result. And that's all that matters. That's what God intended us to do. That's what I was raised to do. I was raised to give, because it's better to give than to receive. And as long as I'm doing that, hey man, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So what if my business doesn't make money, right? Legit? No. Everybody needs to make money. Money isn't evil or bad. And we sometimes give it this persona that it is, and that it's evil and bad to take money, like we're taking away from somebody something that they don't want to give us. And if we imagine and we tell the story that they don't want to give away money, sure, we're going to feel guilty. We're taking something that they don't want to give away. Truth is, they do. And I want you to think about that for a minute. So I'm going to go on a little tangent. We'll come back. I want you to think about how excited you get to spend money on things that really fuel you. When you're going on vacation, do you like cry because you have to spend money on a plane ticket or a hotel? Or are you excited to spend that money because it makes you feel good? When you pay to get your hair done and you like, they shampoo you or they do it and you look all amazing and you walk out of that salon, are you like, oh, I can't believe I just had to pay for that? Or are you like, oh, I feel good? When you feel really good about something, it's like, oh no, I'm happy to pay for this because it brought value to my world. I'm happy to give you money for serving me. I'm happy to give you money for a beautiful, amazing product that makes my life easy and that makes my world a better place. That's exciting for me. I love spending money, and we can wrap our brains and our minds around how good it feels for us to spend money. Then we can become aware of how good it feels for other people to spend money, right? That is a gift. And by giving them a service, we're treating them with that beautiful feeling, that gift of being able to spend money on things that they love, right? Now, what it comes down to is, do you believe that your gift, that your service or product is worthy of that money, right? And that's what it boils down to. It's that really inherent belief and confidence in what it is that you provide. So what about if that service and that gift for you comes so easily to you? Does that ever come up for you where you're just like, I can't believe I get paid for this. How am I supposed to charge for this? It comes so easily to me, right? Or we sometimes think, oh, it's no big deal. They could go do this anywhere. So what I give and what I do can't be that valuable. It's something that they could totally do themselves. Do you ever worry about failing? About what if they say no, right? What if clients don't love what I'm providing? What if they pay for it and they're disappointed? What if they don't think it's valuable? And do you ever feel like you have to convince them, or you have to maybe lower your rates in order to get the sale because you need the money? And it becomes not about value, but about the money itself, because, oh my gosh, you're like in desperate mode and you're like, I don't care, I just need the money, right? What if we work together and they don't like me? And they don't like what I've provided and given them? What if it turns out bad and weird and uncomfortable? What if they leave me a bad review or complain about me and say something to others and I end up with a bad reputation? What's that going to do to my business? What if nobody buys and I make no money and get zero sales, right? We're doubting ourselves and our worth and our value. And that brings up a whole lot of fear. We're afraid that this business is going to fail. And the business is attached to our identity. So if the business fails, we failed. Does that sound familiar? Do you perhaps have disempowering beliefs? And there's some big ones here. Do you call yourself an entrepreneur? Do you take your business seriously? And do you demand that other people respect your business and take it seriously as well? Are you still calling it a side hustle, a side gig? Are you calling yourself a freelancer? Are you allowing other people to say demeaning things about your business? Right there, boundaries. We're going to put a chickadee check on that, right? Do you feel like what it is that you chose to do isn't a real job yet? It's not a real business. It's not a real career because it's unorthodox from the way that you've been raised and the career paths that you have been conditioned to deem worthy. Do you feel like you have to work your way up the ladder? That it's got to take time to build this business? Because if you don't put in hustle and blood and sweat and tears and hard work and time, you haven't earned the right to call it a business yet. You haven't earned the right to make a lot of money doing this yet. Do you find yourself saying, I do this because I love it, it's my passion, I'm not trying to get rich, I don't need to be wealthy, I just need to be comfortable, things like that? What is your belief system around the idea of making a lot of money, about getting rich? When you hear the word rich, how does it make you feel? Why don't you want to be rich? Rich is a beautiful thing, but if it feels gross to you and icky, dig into that a little bit. Allow yourself to journal on that. Why? What comes up for you when you hear that? Do you feel like this is just so easy? Like nobody's going to want to pay you for this because they could go on YouTube or Pinterest and figure it out, or they could have their little brother or sister do it. Are you discounting the value in what it is that you do because it's available? And do you feel like you have to hit a certain milestone before you can be seen as an expert? What benchmark or milestone is that for you? Are you telling yourself stories that I have to hit 1,000, followers, or I have to have an email list of 5,000 people, or I have to get on, so-and-so's podcast, or I have to be featured in a major publication before I can call myself an expert? What are you waiting for? And what stories and benchmarks and milestones, what conditions have you put on your value? Why aren't you calling yourself an expert yet? So what does this all mean? Like when you devalue your services and you don't really own your worth, you end up giving your things away for free, right? Maybe it's because you think, well, this is how I have to start. This is the only way for me to get a testimonial. Maybe you tell yourself that it'd be gross and weird and rude and it's not right to charge friends and family. And those are the only people at this point who know what you're doing. Maybe you're just trying to get your name out there, and free, you feel like is the best way to do that. You feel guilty charging. You fear nobody will pay for this and you just love doing it. Or you're discounting your services because after all, we need the money, right? So if you discount it, maybe you'll get the sale. Or maybe you're trying to fly under the radar so nobody sees you and calls you out, right? You look at what everyone else is doing and you're charging just a little below. So you're like, at least I got the edge there. You feel guilty charging full price. Or maybe you are starting to get clients in and you realize, hey, I am a little bit more valuable than I allowed myself to believe when I first started. And you get a referral client. And that referral comes from somebody who paid your old rates. Do you question whether you are allowed to charge them your new prices? Do you feel like because they came from a referral, they may have had that conversation and the reason they're hiring you is based on price and price alone? So you must lower your rates in order to avoid them feeling like you're ripping them off? Does that ever come up for you? Do you ever feel like your clients can't afford you? So maybe you're working with somebody and you just hit it off with them and you had a discovery call or, you had a meeting and you're like, I really want to work with this person, but I don't think that they can afford me for whatever reasons. Maybe they shared something about their financial situation. They might be going through a divorce or maybe just moved or their husband just got laid off or something, and you feel guilty so that you start to discount your services to accommodate their situation. Does that ever happen? Or you want to get into premium clients and you want to start working with people, but they intimidate you. What about if you just want to help out and share your gift, right? Again, like anything to just help and be of service. And if that means discounting, well, so be it. How do I know that some of these things are coming up for you? because I've been there, done that. In a past life, not all that long ago, actually, I was an interior designer and I started a business, and the business almost went belly up. And it wasn't for lack of clients. I did not have a team. I was completely flying solo, did not invest any money into marketing whatsoever, not even $1 ever. And I had referral clients coming in, which was awesome. But my money mindset sucked. And I was not charging even close to what I should have been. I had no idea of value, of what I was worth. And I let my own doubt and insecurities and fears stop me from stepping into that power. And as a result, I almost lost my business. So in an attempt to fix my business and save my business, I fixed my mindset. I changed it. And within a year of doing that, I hit my 6-figure mark. It was a pretty magical thing. And because I learned in doing that how powerful mindset is, I got really excited and passionate, and I started like preaching it to everybody and telling my design clients, who were predominantly female entrepreneurs, about what it is that I was doing to change my own mindset and heal and fix my business. And when they started incorporating the same techniques and they started to see astronomical results, I was like, this is cool. So I decided I wanted to do more of that. So I started a coaching practice. And within a year and a half of starting my coaching practice, that too surpassed 6 figures. All with an email list of less than 500 people. Most of them, to be honest with you, were still my design clients, but none of those design clients had moved over to coaching. I wanted to start completely different and do this all virtually. So I started from scratch with this business completely. Email list of less than 500 and a social media following across the board, less than 500. So I want you to know, I tell you this because it's possible. I want to open your mind and your awareness to what you can achieve. It wasn't skills, strategy, social media, or luck. It was me changing my mindset. I wanted to serve people. I wanted to make people happy. I wanted to feel like I was making a difference, to make a lot of money. No shame around that for me. And the problem that I was having was that I didn't believe it was possible. When I switched my mindset, I basically got everything I wanted and more. And abundance is a way of life for me now. It is easy, and it can be that way for you too. So how do you flip the switch on your mindset? So if a bunch of stuff came up for you and you were feeling doubtful, you're comparing yourself, you're feeling guilty, you're nervous about things, how do you flip the switch? Well, let me tell you something. It is a choice. You have to choose to believe something different. You have to choose to believe that you are enough, that you are worth it, that what you offer is crazy valuable. If you do that, everything will change. Everything will suddenly be, it's like, right? So let's talk about mindset. Mindset is simply the way that you think and feel about something. And those thoughts and feelings are rooted in a belief. Regardless of whether you believe that you can make $1 million a year or not, whether or not you believe that you can attract ideal clients and that they will be dying to pay you and that they will value your worth, or you don't, you're right either way. Because whatever it is that you believe will be your reality. That will be true for you. And the thing is, you get to choose what to believe. That's a beautiful thing. If what you currently believe is not serving you, it is not giving you the results that you want, you get to choose to flip the switch. Go from darkness to light. Go from desperate to abundant. It is that easy. It's a simple choice. So here's the thing. You get to choose what to believe in, and you want that belief to serve you. So if you want to believe that you're worthy, that your clients can afford you and want to pay you, if you want to believe that you're an expert, you need to believe that, right? You want to believe that you have an abundance of clients waiting to work with you, that money flows to you easily and effortlessly, that you're valuable, that it is safe and comfortable to have money conversations, that you're worthy, that you deserve to charge premium prices for what you do, that it's safe for you to say no, that it's safe for you to put yourself out there, and that you get to choose who you want to work with. And you don't have to work with people that don't value you. You can only work with people that love you and respect you and are excited and ecstatic at the opportunity to work with you. You want to believe all that, right? What happens when you say this in the form of an affirmation? This is true. This is true. Your mind calls BS. Because if it doesn't feel true to you yet, your mind's going, honey, no, it's not. That money, that doesn't effortlessly flow to you. You are broke and you can barely pay your credit card bill this month, right? Clients are not lining up in droves to work with you. You are right now desperate to work with somebody, right? That's what your brain starts doing. So here is how we change that. It's not easy to go straight to the belief. The belief is the core. I like to think of it as one of those gobstoppers that I had one of these when I was little. I don't know if you did, but you had to suck on them forever to get to the core. There were layers. Our mindset works in the same way. There are layers. It is impossible to go straight to a belief and change it. It's like asking somebody that is really religious to change their religious beliefs, or really political to change their political beliefs. It just does not work like that. We have to give the brain proof that what we want to believe is indeed true. And we do that by working through the layers one at a time. The outside surface layer is words, and that's what we're going to talk about because that is the easiest to recognize and change. So, what words are you currently using? How are you describing yourself? What you're capable of? What is your title in your business, right? Are you describing yourself, or are you choosing a title for yourself that's empowering? Are you talking about what it is that you do and how you serve in ways that are empowering? Are you allowing negative words to come into your awareness? Are you letting people belittle what it is that you do in your business? Are you letting people doubt you? Are you letting their words penetrate? It's just as much about your own words and what you're saying out loud as it is about what you're letting in. And while you can't control necessarily what other people do, you can control your exposure to it. You can control how you react to it, and you can definitely control what it is that you are saying. This is why affirmations are so important. This is why they're so powerful if you use them in the right way. So I would like to invite you to go back to some of the things that you wrote down earlier, the disempowering beliefs, the things that came up for you that are happening in your life, in your business right now, and create some empowering statements around them. Turn them from negative to positive. Say, I am a badass coach. I am an awesome copywriter. I am an amazing VA. And if that feels like it's still too much of a stretch for you, add the words, I am choosing to believe. So I am choosing to believe that I am an amazing copywriter, an amazing VA. I'm choosing to believe that I am an awesome coach. And what's going to happen then is the words penetrate the first layer. So as they start to, you're saying them over and over and over again, your brain, it signals your brain and your thoughts in your brain to start looking for proof. It opens up focus and awareness. This is basically the law of attraction now. But when you say something out loud, your brain is going to start to look for proof that that is true for you. So it's going to look for proof and reasons, why to affirm that you are in fact an awesome, copywriter or coach or whatever, right? You are going to say something to yourself like, I'm choosing to believe my services are worth double what I charge. And your brain's going to go to work looking for proof. You're going to start to notice what other people charge. And it's going to be way more than you. And it's going to be like, oh, I could totally raise my prices, right? It's going to validate you. So your brain will look for validation. So write down a couple of empowering statements. And what I'd like you to do is say these to yourself every single day, multiple times a day, every time you're in front of a mirror. Whether that mirror is your rear view in your car, whether you're getting out of the shower, doing your makeup, taking a potty break in the middle of the day, walking across your foyer, your hallway where the mirror is, stop, look at yourself and say nice things. Because you can't wait for somebody else to validate you. It starts with you. If you are having trouble with your strengths, and this is a real challenge for you, I want you to push out of your comfort zone a little bit and take this challenge. Reach out to a couple past clients that you have worked with and ask them, Say, hey, you could blame it on me if you want to. Say, hey, I am working with Tanya Rainier, and she challenged me to reach out to you and ask you, what is the one reason you chose to work with me? And if you've been working with them for a little while, you would say, why do you continue to choose me? You can swipe this right here and use it and get some feedback. I promise you, nobody will say anything mean. It's really uncomfortable to do this, but it is so powerful because you get to see what other people see. You get to see yourself through the eyes of those that you serve. And that's going to help you look in the mirror and say those things to yourself. It's going to help you to validate your own worth. Big time, I promise. So the bottom line, the takeaway is that I want you to know that it starts with you. You must give yourself permission to feel worthy. And the more you do this, the easier it's going to be to believe. Because like I said, words, that permission, that validation, those affirmations on the outside are what start that trigger that domino effect and that chain reaction through the layers. So the words trigger your thoughts to look for proof. When your brain finds proof that the words are true, you will feel that truth, meaning the brain will release chemicals that tell your body to feel a certain emotion. So when you find the truth, it's gonna resonate in your body as confidence, empowerment, excitement, love, connection, inspiration. And those feelings in your body, that is going to kind of set up shop in your mind as a memory. And you're going to remember this equals feel good, right? So validating myself equals proof equals I feel good about it. And after that process is repeated a few times, you are starting to solidify a new belief within your brain, a new neural pathway. And that is how to undo and reprogram your belief system. Pretty simple, right? It takes repetition. That's the key. So really, to recap, I want you to walk away from this believing in your value, committing to yourself, knowing why you're amazing, and continuing to affirm that within yourself every day. Be okay with being picky. It's okay to choose who you work with. It's okay to be picky about where you surround yourself, what you let into your environment and your awareness. It's okay to create distance if you need to while you're reprogramming your mindset. Give yourself the permission you need to take care of you. Do this every day. Affirm yourself. Keep saying nice things to yourself. Have a plan for what ifs. So I love practice in LARPing, which is live action role play. If you can, practice what it is that you're going to say for those fears. If you're afraid that you're going to be rejected, that somebody's not going to like what you deliver, if somebody's going to freak out about your prices, write down all the things that freak you out and then have a plan. What are you going to say if somebody says that to you? How are you going to respond? And act this out. Again, do this in the mirror. Do this when you're alone. Do it when you're in the shower. Practice these situations so that you can build your confidence and feel like I'm ready for them. Bring it, because I am ready to handle this. I am prepared, right? Because confidence at the end of the day is sexy. Confidence sells. And that is the most important thing you can have. Remember that when it comes to you and your business, nothing is impossible. The very word impossible suggests I'm possible, right? You are possible. If there is anything else that I can offer you that is valuable to help you with your mindset, whether that be free workshops, because I do some of those, meditation to help you work through some of these processes. I have free mini courses, a podcast, which is awesome. Definitely check that out, and a Facebook community. So I'm here for you. If there's anything that I can do to help, make sure you head on over to tanyarainier.com and /resources to get the freebies. So I hope that was super valuable for you. I hope you were able to take away a lot and you did your homework and you took a lot of notes, because it's in that journey of self-discovery that you're going to really start to become aware of where your blocks are. And then once you're aware of what's blocking you and what isn't serving you, you can decide, hey, what do I want instead? And you can go back and do this work of decluttering and changing your words and start to work through those layers so that you can ultimately take inspired action towards your dream life. You can have it, it can be yours, and it can be a lot sooner than you think. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. It was really awesome to spend time with you, and I hope that we can connect soon.